Is everybody done converting the first comment into an instruction? How many instructions did you guys write? 2, at least 2. It could be 3 if you are separating out your variable declaration from your input instruction. Anybody still authoring the 2 instructions? Anybody still coding the 2 instructions? So I expect everybody is done, or you're not telling me. Okay. So when I say write a program to accept a number from user, what is your first instruction? Some kind of a message for the user. Okay. Now I am very busy. My ears are very busy right now. I am now listening to who is typing now. It's telling me that they didn't write the first time. Now people stopped. That is an important instruction. Right line or right? Which one? Right. So that my insertion point is on the same line. Okay. Then I have my variable of type integer. Console.readLine. Okay. Here I need to have a message. And here I need to do what? Convert. Okay. So I can do convert dot to int 32. Now in integer we have 3 different integers because there are 3 different types of integers. We have short, which is 16, int, which is 32, and long, which is 64. So that's why we have 3 different to int conversions. So anytime you're asked to accept a number of type so and so from user, you have to repeat this idea. Write a program to accept 2 numbers of type integer from user. Done? Okay, so what do you do? Very good. You just copy and paste these instructions, both of them. Enter another number and maybe make this number 2. Make that number 1. Just minor changes. Once you build one instruction set, you can simply copy and paste it. Okay? So enter value for number 1. This could be another way of taking an input. Enter value for number 2. Okay. Okay. Now this should come quicker. I made one other change in my first comment, first instruction. Done? Okay. What did you do? Same stuff. You copied it, you pasted it, you change it to number 3. Okay. Now, I'm adding another instruction here. Add 3 numbers and store their result in a variable of type integer. What's wrong? Really? No, that doesn't fixes anything. Why am I getting an error? So I'm basically trying to use variables before the variables are declared. That's also a problem. Some students make that mistake and it gives them error and they are in the same boat as you were a few seconds ago. Why? It's not working because this is linear code. You can only do things in sequence. So when it goes here, it says, okay, who is number one? Who is number two, number three? It's pretty much like that these are not even registered in memory. You can use it. But if I take this statement and push it after all the three variables are used, declared and used, now it is error-free. So one thing that you have to keep in mind is never to use a variable before it is declared. It is like giving social security number to an unborn baby. Will not work. So you have to make sure that the baby's born, because the variable is born in memory before you use it. Okay. Now I will change one thing in the first statement and one thing in the second statement. And you make appropriate changes all over the code. Write a program to accept three numbers of type double and store them in a variable of type double. So make necessary changes for this one change or two changes. 7. Your convert will now call to double. It won't call to int 32 anymore. Even though int 32 will also work. But the problem will be that if you convert to an int, even if you put decimal, it won't pick the decimal point. It will only get the whole number piece. So 13.5, it will only going to grab 13 if you leave it to 2 int 32, because integers only work with whole numbers. So that's why you will convert the variables to type double, and you will convert this to double. I'm leaving that line number 24 the way it is right now. I want to talk about one thing before we make some changes. Now, number 1, number 2, and number 3 are of type double, and sum is of type integer. So when I hover over, it tells me cannot implicitly convert double to an int. Now comes the question, it never complained earlier when I left integer on the right and double to the left. In the case of double num1, double num2, double num3, why is it complaining when I'm doing the other way around? You're on the right track, but the real reason why it can't do that because double is 8 bytes. Integer is 4. It's complaining merely because you're trying to fit a larger value in a smaller box. When you go from int to double, a small value can fit in a large box, but the other way around is not possible. That's why it mainly is complaining. So if you change it to the correct box size of memory, it just works fine. Okay. Now let me give that first instruction a context. Write a program to accept 3 interior angles of type double, interior angles of a triangle. Okay, so write a program to accept 3 interior angles of a triangle, add 3 angles, and store result in a variable type double. So now, based on the context, make appropriate changes to your prompt statements. Now, this could come in any set of words. I mean, like, you can do whatever you want to write for an appropriate message as long as there's a context there. That's all I care about. So now a person who is going through this application knows the context. So you're trying to accept a value for the first interior angle of a triangle, second interior angle of a triangle, third interior angle of a triangle. So you accepted all 3 interior angles, and then you store them. Their sum was stored in the variable sum. Now let me give an if condition check. Then check to see if sum of interior angles is, what is the sum of all the interior angles of a triangle equals to? Okay. And then display an appropriate message. That means if it is, you display one message. If it is not, you display the other message. Remember, it's 2 equals for equality. Okay, so if sum equals to 180, then console.writeLine valid triangle, else invalid triangle.